Phil Smith right there. As the Lobos, Pete Parks will kick off to start the football game. Aztecs and Lobos meeting for the 8th time in history. The Aztecs are going 4, the Lobos 3. High floating kick going into the end zone. Smith 1 yard deep, back out to the 5, 10, up the middle, 15, finds a hole. He goes to the 20, 25, 30, still running, and goes to the 33-yard line. Phil Smith with a good run back of 34 yards gives the Aztecs good field position as they take over the football. Bob, quickly a note. Aztecs, after working out in two games daytime, now going under the lights for the first time. Is that a problem for a football player?
Well, they worked out during the week under the lights. I believe Wednesday night they worked out in the Aztec Bowl just to get used to it and accustomed to the difference in lighting, and I don't think it'll be too much of a problem for tonight's ball game.
All right, first down. Matt Kofler brings his club to the line with Darius Durham wide left, Phil Smith to the right. Gambling defense of the New Mexico Lobos out of the I formation. Kofler, long count, quick pitch, goes to the fumble right off the bat as Craig Ellis fumbled the pitch and luckily recovered it. So it's a loss on the play of 5 yards for Ellis and the Aztecs. Here's the start as the Aztecs. Kofler tops in the nation total offense. Craig Ellis and Steve Fogel are his setbacks. And he'll have wired Darius Durham and Phil Smith. Wideouts, John Jessup and Jim Botro will alternate at tight end. Up front, Jerry Stapleine, Rob Gilster, Matt Long, Darryl Yarborough, Brian Skaday. Matt Long has played very well at center the first 2 ball games. Loss of 5, it'll be. Second down, 15. And Kofler back to pass. Sets up, fires long for Phil Smith. Bumps into the cornerback on that side. That is James Bell. No call, incidental collision apparently, according to the back judge. And so the ball overthrown, and Matt incomplete on his first attempt of the night. Sport Network's broadcast of today's Aztec game is granted by authority of the NCAA of San Diego State University. Any use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NCAA and San Diego State University is prohibited. Today's announcers are hired and employed by Sports Network and San Diego State University. 3rd and 15, Aztecs operating from the left hash mark. Kofler looks over the defense. Matt will put it up again on 3rd and long. Has time now. Flushed out. Dumps it off, though, to the 30-yard line. Ellis. 35. 40. Craig still running. Run out of bounds in front of the Aztec bench at the 45-yard line. Close to first down yardage.
Ron, that time the Lobos were in an 8-man blitz.
So Craig took it up for first down yardage, so the Aztecs get off the hook at 3rd and 15. Have their first down of the ball game. 1st and 10 now at San Diego State 45-yard line. Vogel and Ellis are the setbacks on first down. Kofler to pass. Now fires over the middle. Nice catch. Completed. Wide receiver Clinton Sampson taking in that ball over the middle. Clinton, 6'2", senior out of Carson, takes it to the 40-yard line of New Mexico, and the Aztecs in Lobo territory for the first time, and with a first down.
Once again, the Lobos in man-to-man coverage. It's just a quick slant pattern. He looked to Jim Botro first on a quick out to the tight end. He was covered, and Sampson just coming right across the middle. Nice pass by Matt. Good catch by Sampson.
As a team, the Aztecs are averaging 361 yards total offense. Lobos 329. Defensively, New Mexico is giving up 419 yards total offense. The Aztecs 295. First down. Blitz being shown, and motion, and flags, obviously. So we got people moving all over the place.
Well, that's a secret to the Lobo defense. They show so many different fronts. That time, the only 2 down linemen were the 2 defensive ends. Everybody else was in a stand-up position. So now you have to wonder whether they're going to rush 4 or 5 guys in a blitz, or they're just going to rush the 2 outside men and drop off 9 in pass protection. So they'll possess a lot of problems in the first quarter, maybe even the first half for the San Diego State offense to actually find out what their defensive game plan will be.
All right, the walk-off 5 yards, Aztecs illegal procedure. Ellis in motion illegally. Puts the football at the 45-yard line. San Diego State now looking at a 1st and 15. Botro is in a tight end now. Phil Smith sets out wide to the right. Darius Durham to the left. There you see the Lobos defense crowding up on a line of scrimmage. Kofler, long count. There's movement on the line, but getting back, Lobos defensive end is Kofler to pass. Fires as a man open, Durham, but it's thrown behind him. And now we got flags down. In the secondary, as Darius Durham was one-on-one with left cornerback Nick Johnson. Aztecs, one thing about the New Mexico defense that they'll enjoy tonight is that the wideouts should get a lot of single coverage with those cornerbacks.
That's right, and I think the San Diego State receivers are better athletes than the cornerbacks for New Mexico, so we should be able to see a lot of passes to our wide receivers. I believe they're going to try to take away the tight ends and the running backs in our offense. So the wide receivers should see plenty of action tonight.
Here you see the call by the official. Interference called against Johnson, 5'11", freshman cornerback from Austin, Texas. First down Aztecs on the pass interference call at the 28-yard line of New Mexico. Aztecs set up in a wing now with a slot to the right. In motion is Craig Ellis. And Kofler to pass. Being pressured, runs up out of there, but can't get away. And he fumbles, but the Aztecs do recover the football as Matt, under a heavy rush, tried to run it out of there, got to the 30, fumbled and recovered by San Diego State at the 31 for what will ultimately be a loss of 3 yards.
That time, New Mexico just rushed 5 guys, dropped 6 back. They had double coverage on the backs coming out of the backfield. It confused Matt just a little. He had a little pressure, and he tried to scramble up the middle.
Got pressure from linebacker Johnny Jackson, who is an outstanding freshman from California. Jackson had a big game last week with 8 solo tackles, a couple of fumbles, a couple of sacks. Second down, 13. Matt again with a long count. Quick drop, fires, slant in. Dude, Darius down across the 20, run out of bounds inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. Darius Durham, who caught 7 passes last week against Oklahoma State. Coming into this ballgame, he's tied with Jim Botro, top receiving honors with 10 on the year. Takes that one. Aztec get good yardage, 12 yards, and they'll be looking now at a 3rd and 1. Today's game is being brought to you in part by Budweiser. At home, after work, or play, Aztec fans, remember, this Bud's for you. 3rd and 1, San Diego State at the 18.5-yard line of New Mexico. Kofler, give, Fogel, he fumbles right back to Kofler. He's going to throw it, and does, incomplete as he throws it away. Oh, interesting play. Now a flag goes down. What's the call on that?
Intentional grounding, I believe.
Because he had a man down there, Phil Smith, and Matt's going to go over and have a little discussion with the official.
But I believe the ball hit the ground, bounced back to him. It was a running play, and he just threw it out of bounds, so they're going to give him an intentional grounding call, I imagine. I don't know what else they could call.
I'm curious. Let's see what the call is. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's the call. Right, there it is. Interesting play. It's also a loss of down. So the Aztecs in some trouble now. The walk-off takes the ball to the 35-yard line where it's 4th down. So even though they're in Lobo territory, Coach Doug Scoville will play for the 3 points here. As on comes Dave Meyer, the field goal kicker, try to add 3.
And the holder will be Mike Jeselin, who ironically was a quarterback at one time in his career, so we just may see a fake one of these days out of the Aztec.
Absolutely. Trying a 42-yarder, 52-yard field goal. Ball is down. Kick is on its way. And it's good. 52-yard field goal. Dave Meyer. Boy, has he got a leg.
Very strong leg.
So the Aztecs get on the board in their first drive of the field goal. 12:45 to go in the first quarter. It's San Diego State 3, New Mexico nothing. To the New Mexico Lobos. The stadium holds about 30,000, and we'd say it's about half full right now. I'd say about 15,000, 16,000 for this ball game. Back deep for the Lobos are Jerry Apodaca and Robert Mitchell. Meyer approaches the football and kicks it away. Apodaca goes deep into the end zone and wisely will not run it out. A good kick by Dave Meyer. So the Lobos will go on offense for the first time tonight at their own 20-yard line.
I think David likes the high altitude here.
Boy, it do help. A little different than being hard by the ocean.
Sure
San Diego.
Air is not quite as heavy.
We're at about 4,500 elevation here,
somewhere around there.
Neighborhood. Yes. So on comes quarterback Robin Gabriel for the New Mexico Lobos. Robin, last year had a big ball game against San Diego State at San Diego Stadium. He'll be facing this defensive line that you see on first down out of the I formation. And on first down, Gabriel to pass, fires long upfield. It is overthrown at midfield. And it was intended for flanker Jerry Apodaca.
Pass was intended for Jerry Apodaca.
Nothing more than just a straight fly pattern. He just took off right at the line of scrimmage and ran down. He outran number 40, Mark Coleman. I believe the Aztecs started out in a man-to-man coverage there on the slot side. the weak safety Mike Fox came over and did lend a little help. He may have stopped him before he caught the ball. If he caught the ball, he may have stopped him before a touchdown.
All right, setbacks are Kerry Clark and Mike Carter, back of Roman Gabriel. Wide receivers are Keith McGee and Jerry Apodaca on 2nd and 10. Gabriel gives to the tailback. Carter stacked up as he heads across the 20 to the 21, maybe 22-yard line. Carter is a 5'9" junior out of Albuquerque.
Well, he had a thrilling experience last year, didn't he?
Here's the Aztec linebackers, and they'll be using a lot of people tonight as they brought 11 linebackers. Of course, Rick Boyer making the big play a week ago at Albuquerque on the 4th and 1, and the secondary, Vernon Dean, Mark Coleman, Darrell Hall, Mike Fox. Play gains to the 23-yard line, a 3-yard pickup. So now the Lobos looking at 3rd and 7. Gabriel rolls left, looking upfield, has time, fires over the middle, and completes it to Keith McGee out of San Diego, Morse High. McGee, top receiver for the Lobos, a 5'10" junior, takes in that pass and dropped it to the 38-yard line. That'll be a first down, New Mexico.
Like a play out of the San Diego State Aztec playbook on offense. He just ran a deep slant pattern across the middle, hit the middle of that zone. It was a fine pass by Gabriel.
So the Roman Gabriel-led Lobos get their first down. They're now operating from the 39-yard line on the right hash mark. Tailback Carter, not much to the left side, is hit and dragged down after about a 2-yard pickup. Middle of the Aztec defensive line making the hit. Carter gets about 2 yards. He had over 100 yards rushing last week against Air Force Academy as the New Mexico showed its strongest offensive game of the year.
Sure did.
Especially in rushing.
He had a real fun experience last year, too. They mixed him up with another Mike Carter here in the school, and he was ineligible.
Fouled up his grades.
Fouled up his grades. And
so he had to sit out. 2nd down, 8. Lobos show slot formation. Gabriel to pass. Has time. Fires. Long. Has a man open. Tight end. Lane. And all the way down to the Aztec 23-yard line.
Once again, the Aztecs...
Carl Foster, go ahead.
Once again, the Aztecs were in man-to-man coverage, and Foster, who has really great speed, the 6'3", 195-pound senior, was one-on-one with Mark Coleman, a strong safety, and it was just outran him. We have it again here on replay. It's just a fake into the line, little play-action pass, and you see Coleman about 2 steps behind Foster. Perfectly thrown pass by Gabriel.
So the Lobos now at Aztec territory, trading 3-0. They have a 1st and 10 at the San Diego State 22-yard line. Senior quarterback Robin Gabriel out of the I formation. Tailback Carter trying to right side at the 20, the 15, and bumped out of bounds. As he was running free until coming up to make the stop was quarterback Darrell Hall.
The Aztecs were in a blitz. They centered both their middle linebackers, Bill Fairbrother and Eldon Dale. The key to the play that made it a success was number 4, Keith McGee, who, as you said earlier, is from Morris High in San Diego. Came in, made a fine block, enabling the running back to go to the outside.
So now they're at the 15-yard line after that 7-yard pickup. 2nd down, 3 Lobos. Gabriel out of the I formation. Tailback Carter again up the middle, not much room, and the Aztecs get to him and push him back. Good defensive play.
Jerome Franey.
Jerome Franey, linebacker who has come on of late. He's out of Bakersfield, a 6'2" junior. So now, 3rd and 3 Lobos after that running play, no gain.
Seems like every week the San Diego State Aztecs defense has a hard time getting started. Usually the first drive every team has pick up considerable yardage, then they settle down.
So now on 3rd down, option of Gabriel will run it himself, ducks in over left tackle and looks to have 1st down yardage at the 12-yard line. And there's the indication from the referee. It is 1st down to Mexico. The referee, incidentally, is Pat Sweeney, who lives in Oceanside.
Traveled a long way for a ball game, didn't he?
He's a North County businessman who has a lot of businesses in Leucadia and Encinitas. Veteran official on the West Coast, Pat Sweeney. 1st and 10 Lobos at the Aztec 11. 9 minutes to play, first quarter. Aztecs lead 3-0. Lobos threatening to do something about it. Double tight end formation now. Gabriel on 1st down, option again. Keeps it, hit, then gets away. Keeps the ball to the 10-yard line as he gets about 2 yards, maybe 1, before the Aztecs get to him.
Mike Vance came in from his right end position, and put the first hit on Gabriel. I don't think that's a good play for New Mexico. I hope they run it all night. Gabriel doesn't have the speed to be an option quarterback, so it takes away that added dimension. For an option to be successful, you have to have a quarterback that has good speed and quickness, and Gabriel just doesn't have the speed to be a good option quarterback.
Now it is 2nd down 9 after that 1-yard pickup. This time, option again to the right. Carter gets the pitch. The tailback comes to the outside, hit, gets away, hit, and the Aztecs get to him. A good defensive play is coming in there very quickly. Todd Seabaugh.
Right.
And also coming up to help was Darrell Hall.
Todd Seabaugh.
There are flags down, and it looks to be against New Mexico. Offside. Oh, Aztecs, but clipping Lobos. So forget that play. Act like it never happened.
Start all over again.
All right.
Offsetting penalties negate the call.
San Diego State will be home next Saturday night, finally. Home opener at San Diego Stadium against Iowa State Cyclones of the Big 8, who this weekend tied Oklahoma at Norman, Oklahoma, 7-7. So that'll be a 7:30 kickoff. Ought to be a dandy as Iowa State is unbeaten. Today's game brought to you in part by Budweiser. At home or after work or play, Aztec fans, remember, this Bud's for you. 2nd down 9, Lobos. Gabriel back to pass. Being chased, rolls out, looks to the end zone, fires, and it is caught at the 1-yard line. John Lane, the tight end, in heavy traffic. Oh, my.
Fine catch. He threw it right in there. Gabriel did. He was being pressured by number 72, Brad Williams, who's the Aztecs defensive lineman of the week last week for his fine effort against Oklahoma State.
Well, the Aztecs looked to have good coverage, threw into double coverage there. But Lane, a 6'1" junior tight end out of Brownwood, Texas. 1st and goal, Lobos at the Aztec 1-yard line. Gabriel. Touchdown, New Mexico.
Well, they made it look pretty easy.
Yes, they did. A nice 80-yard drive by the Lobos. And so they go in front, 6-3. Now on to try the extra point will be Pete Parks. He is 13 for 13 in his extra point tries this year.
This will be something strange to seeing a conventional kicker. You don't see too many of those around anymore.
That's right.
You see a lot of sidewinders, and this is an oddity right now in football.
He may be a little goosey. He had 2 kicks blocked last year by Johnny Moore, San Diego Stadium. Flag is down as the kick's on its way, and it is good. I believe the Aztecs were offside.
It was good, but there's a flag on the play.
Let's see what the officials indicate. And the call is extra point, good. Officials waving off the flag. So the extra point is good. That makes it 7-3. New Mexico on top. 8 minutes, 1 second to play in the first quarter. We'll be back right after this. So the Lobos now on top of the Aztecs, 7-3, as San Diego State for the 3rd game in a row, as Bob pointed out very well, moving the ball in the first quarter, as the Aztecs' 2 previous opponents have done.
It's really unusual, too, because New Mexico is a slow-starting ball club. They haven't really generated much offense in the first quarter through their first...
Ironically, this is the 5th game, and it's only their 2nd touchdown. The kickoff, Smith to the goal line. 10, 15, breaks away to 20. Still running, cuts outside it to 30. Phil takes it all the way to the 35-yard line. Another good run back by Phil Smith, who is replacing Mike Fox. Mike has an injured hip, suffered in the Oklahoma State game. So Smith may be just taking over that kickoff return job.
He may. He has that 4.4 speed, so he could be an added threat there.
Good field position for San Diego State. At their own 35 as they now trail 7-3. So both these quarterbacks early in the first quarter putting the ball up. Matt Kofler is 4 for 6. Robin Gabriel 3 for 4. 1st and 10, Aztecs wing formation. Matt gives to Steve Fogel. Fogel across the 40, good yardage, up to the 45-yard line before being hauled down. Senior fullback Steve Fogel runs for what looks to be a 10-yard gain.
It's nothing more than just a straight handoff. The Aztecs figure that with New Mexico blitzing a lot, they'll do some cross-blocking there with the guard and the tackle, and it should be just a quick handoff and a straight dive up the middle. Might be able to pop one tonight.
Well, the officials will call for the chains to be brought in. The measurement. Coming into the ball game, Fogel averaging 4 yards a carry, scored 1 touchdown. Looks to be a little bit short. And we'll let them make that determination. They're a little closer than we are. Oh, Rena, good eyes. It is indeed a little bit short.
A little short. It's actually a good situation because now they could do a lot of things. They could go for the first down. They could play action and go for the bomb because they always have that third down to go for the inch, and I'm sure the Aztecs can pick up an inch without any trouble.
Yes, I think Matt and Doug Scoville are aware of that.
Yes. Maybe we should send it down if they're not.
That's good. Being an offensive man as you are.
Definitely.
Slot formation left. Aztecs on second and short yardage. Long count by Matt Kofler. And he gives to Fogel again. Steve has the first down as flags fly everywhere. Looked like the Lobos offside. 2-yard pickup for Fogel to the 47-yard line. More than enough for the first down.
Apparently they didn't want to listen to us.
Well, the penalty will give him 5.
Matt will be changing up his count because, as we said earlier in the broadcast, that New Mexico will be blitzing quite a bit. So we want to keep them antsy. They're going to go sometimes with a quick count, sometimes on a second sound, sometimes on a third sound, and vary it up and keep them off balance so they can't get a rhythm and get their blitzes going.
5-yard walk-off moves the ball to the 50-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 Aztecs. Trailing 7-3. I'd like to remind you that today's game is brought to you in part by the good folks at Ball Oldsmobile and Ball Honda on the mile of cars in National City. 1st and 15. As you see the Lobo linebackers starting to crowd in, showing blitz. They don't disguise it. Draw, full goal, too many defensive people there, and Steve goes nowhere. Loss to the 42-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard setback. One of the problems of even trying to run a running play against a blitzing defense, because I guess they fill all the gaps, don't they?
Right, they fill all the gaps. They cut off everything. There's no possible way. I think some of the good running plays to use would be sweeps and pitches, and I think the Aztecs will go to that later on in the ball game. I think they're just feeling them out, seeing what type of blitzes they're going to be running, what they have in their game plan for this week.
So now it's a 2nd and 18, San Diego State. Bill Smith to the left, Darius Durham to the right. Kofler again with a long count. Matt back to pass. Fires slant in. Durham, and he can't hold it. Darius. Oh, they're not going to call that a reception or fumble, are they? Oh, so that's... Oh, boy. Well, I question that call.
I don't think he had possession.
I didn't either. He dropped it when he got popped by the cornerback.
Right. It's one-on-one coverage, and Bell just hit him just as the ball got there, and it just popped right out. So, unless somebody caught it in midair before it hit the ground, I don't know. But to call it a fumble, that would be a very bad call.
Well, the Lobos think it's a fumble recovery, and they're going to get it. Aztec bench is not crazy about it at all.
That's called being homered.
Well, that's your basic whack officials. So, fumble recovery by Darius Durham, quote unquote, after they pass reception. Lobos take over the ball at the 50-yard line. Aztecs have had very few turnovers, only 4 interceptions by Matt in 2 ball games, considering the number of times they throw the ball. Lobos have been relatively turnover-free also, 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles, and that's in 4 ball games. So leading 7-3, New Mexico with the ball. Robin Gabriel sits his club at midfield. On first down, he's going to roll right to pass. Sets up, fires, completes it at the 43-yard line. Jerry Apodaca, the flanker, takes it in and hauled down the San Diego State 43-yard line.
Alvin Bush making the tackle. Apodaca is a real fine receiver. He's one of their big play men. He's caught 8 balls for 168 yards this year and 1 TD. Ironically, his dad played here, and he used to be the former governor, I believe, of the state, and he was a star running back here at New Mexico.
As a 6-yard pickup, 2nd down 4 coming up, Lobos. Carol Foster in at flanker now, sits out in the slot to the left, just inside of Keith McGee. Gabriel option, short side of the field, pitches it back to Carter, the tailback. He bobbles it for a moment, and then the Aztecs get to him. Darryl Hall came in nicely from his corner position and made the hit. Boy, Darryl's playing well out there, a 5'10 senior from Long Beach.
He sure is. He forced that very well, gave Todd Seaball and Mike Vance a chance to get over from their linebacker and defensive end position, respectively, and make a nice play out of it. It's a good force. That's what you need out of your cornerbacks against the option.
Actually, it's a 1-yard loss back to the 45. So we're just inside 5 minutes left in the first quarter. And Lobos now have a 3rd and 5. They lead in the ball game 7-3. They show again slot formation to the left. Gabriel rolls left this time. Pressured, running out of there. Hit, gets away. Hit, gets away. Hit, and finally is hauled down as the Aztecs do ultimately get to him. Jerome Franey, linebacker, after a lot of pressure put on Robin Gabriel. He ultimately scrambles for a 1 or 2 yard pickup, short of first down yardage. The Aztec defense rises up, halts the Lobos, and they'll have to punt the football.
I think they're settling down now, just like they used to in the last two ball games. They're just starting to settle down, and they get that first series jitter out of the way, and they're ready to play some football.
A lot of folks don't have time to eat before a game at San Diego Stadium, so why not stop by Delivery, 701 Broadway in El Cajon. The Broadway Shopping Center, perfect for your after the game get-together or before the game. Short, poor kick by the Lobos, Bob Ferguson, and it takes an Aztec bounce like a nice 9-iron with a backspin, and the Aztecs really get a break. The line of scrimmage was the 43-yard line, and the Aztecs will take over the ball at the 32. So I'd call that an 11-yard punt.
Good man.
He came into the game averaging 37 yards a punt. So, timeout on the field. Aztecs trail 7-3, and we'll be back right after this.
Action with the New Mexico, 1st and 10.
Catch the Aztec replays every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. You can join us for brunch and a complete look at the Aztec game from Saturday at the Aspen Mine Company, just 2 blocks off campus on El Cajon Boulevard. 10 a.m. Sunday. First down, Lobos. Give. Tailback Carter in trouble, hit, and hammered behind the line of scrimmage. Boy, Aztec defense closed very well that time. Good penetration. Alan Dale, I think, was in there first, and Bill Fairbrother.
Allen filled the hole perfectly. He had nowhere to go. He had to try to break around, and then the rest of the Aztec defense comes over and helps out.
Alan Dale, 6'1" junior, JC transfer from Palomar to San Pasqual High up in the Escondido area.
Played at the Air Force Academy.
And also, yes. So a 2-yard setback. It is second down, 12 Lobos. Minute and a half to play. First quarter, they lead 7-3. Gabriel will put it up. Fires over the middle, completes it nicely. And it's going to be short of first down yardage. The ball is jarred loose. Aztecs fall on it, but they won't call this one a fumble.
And I believe we have a holding penalty on New Mexico.
There is a flag in the backfield. That'll wipe out that pass reception. Gabriel to McGee. This game could be the first 4-hour game.
Looks that way. I didn't expect New Mexico to throw the ball so much. I thought they were going to be a little more, as Tommy Freeman would put it, smash ball.
Yeah. Philosophically, they would like to run a lot of the I formation running plays. There you see the penalty against the Lobos. Moves the football all the way back to the 28-yard line. So now it'll be second and a bunch.
And the players are in play, so please confine your playing activities to non-playing time.
Now it's second and 23 for the Lobos. Spread formation. Gabriel obviously will put it up. Blitz, but he gets away. Upfield, throws, completes it at the 40. Midfield into Aztec territory, and all the way down to the 40-yard line of San Diego State goes Jerry Apodaca.
And there's a flag thrown there. I don't know if it's a personal foul or a late hit by one of the Aztecs.
Mike Fox finally knocked him out. A good presence of mind by Robin Gabriel under heavy pressure. Rolled out of there, looked upfield, and saw Apodaca wide open. And a penalty. Boy, they had, after the holding call, second and 27, and now they get off the hook plus 15 more.
Personal foul penalty. Threw that flag a little quick.
I thought so, but maybe I'm looking at it through different glasses.
Could be. We're a little further away.
There it is. Pat Sweeney indicates personal foul Aztecs. So the Lobos get big yardage. And all the way down now to the Aztec 24-yard line. Well, they have a 1st and 10. 7-3 the score. New Mexico on top of San Diego State. McGee sets out wide to the left, Apodaca to the right. On first down, Gabriel. It's Carter and gets nowhere. Again, Alan Dale coming flying in from his middle linebacker position. Makes the hit in the backfield.
Along with Bill Fairbrother, I think they had a blitz where both linebackers go to one side on the other side of the nose guard, and the nose guard coming back to the weak side, fill the hole. Michael Johnson was in there. He's another Morris High graduate, number 44.
He's had some injury problems. Considered to be a fine running back. So now, after that 2-yard loss, it is 2nd and 12, Lobos. Gabriel option, keeps it, and is hit as he dives forward for a couple of yards. to the 22-yard line.
By Gabriel.
Bill Fairbrother making the tackle.
And that'll do it. First quarter comes to a close.
At the end of the first
So after one period of play, it is New Mexico 7, San Diego State 3. We'll be back with second quarter action right as the Lobos have a 3rd and 8 as we start the second quarter, and Gabriel to pass on 3rd down. Fires over the middle, and it's incomplete. A delay pattern coming out of the backfield was tailback Mike Johnson circling out. Ball thrown too low. He couldn't grab it. So it brings up a 4th down.
The Lobos have been moving the ball surprisingly easily.
They have been.
Surprising me.
Aztec defense played quite well first 2 ball games, giving up only 2 touchdowns per game. And so now, field goal try by the Lobos, Pete Parks. So far this year, he's 3 for 5 on his field goals. This one will be from the 29-yard line, so a 39-yard attempt. He has a couple of 35-yarders this year. Ball is down, and kick is on its way. It is no good, and there's a penalty flag down. Boy, Parks can't believe it.
I believe it's a penalty against the Lobos. One of their down linemen moved before the ball was snapped, so hopefully that's the way it'll
Well,
be.
if the kick is no good, the Aztecs will decline the penalty and take the football.
Right.
If the penalty is against New Mexico, obviously they'll take it, or rather against the Aztecs. Illegal procedure, Lobos, you're right.
Illegal procedure is the call indicated against the Lobos.
There's the discussion. The Aztecs are going to take the penalty. Now explain that to me, because
I don't know.
it was a 4th down field goal try.
I think you'd rather have the ball, wouldn't you?
I would think so.
Unless it was a dead ball foul.
Might have been, oh, okay.
You have no
Yeah,
choice.
the
You
flag
have to
was
take
after
it.
the kick, yeah. So the Aztecs don't have the choice on the down. Therefore, the 5-yard walk-off takes the ball to the 27-yard line. Parks will try again, this time from the 37. That'll make it a 47-yard field goal. Now, wait, but now the holder gets to the 34, so it's a 44-yard try by Pete Parks. High snap, ball is down, though, and it kicks on its way, and it's going to be way wide. No good. So the Aztecs have held, thanks to the penalty, get pretty good field position on the missed field goal by Pete Parks. Play resumes with San Diego State in possession. On 1st down. Kofler will pass. Slant. Smith, 30. Down to the 25 to the 24-yard line. Phil Smith. That's the play the Aztecs figured that they could do all night long, and it worked that time. And they got 16 yards and a 1st down.
It's a quick slant play, and number 21, Huey Chancellor, defensive back for the Lobos, slipped down a little, give him just a little extra yardage on the play.
So Phil Smith, the walk-on quarterback from Compton JC, converted to a wide receiver, doing a good job. And San Diego State keeps the drive alive at the New Mexico 24-yard line. Again, slot formation to the right. Weak side, Fogel fumbles the ball and then falls on it. Boy, he could have got good yardage again on it had he not bobbled it.
Right, they were blitzing everything in the middle, and he was going to bounce it outside. I think just in anxiety to get out there, he was trying to change it from his inside hand to his outside hand, so he'd get around the corner. He just sort of dropped it. In the evening, the ball changes, too. It gets a little dewy. The ball gets a little wet. The ground gets a little wet. So it's,
well, we might add,
it's a new ball game to play.
It rained very hard here in Albuquerque the last 2 days, although not today. So it's a good point. The field is a little bit wet, and it's a heavy grass. Actually, the Aztecs get 1 yard out of it, so it's 2nd down 9 at the 23-yard line. Matt will put it up. Slant in this time, intercepted by New Mexico. And all the way downfield, Frank Cedillo.
Well, they went to the well once too many. They were throwing that slant pattern, and Cedillo read it perfectly. It was man-to-man coverage and stepped right in front of the receiver and made a fine interception.
So Matt threw into coverage. They had double coverage over there, as he tended to force it in to Darius Durham. Frank Cedillo, a senior, 5'9", 165, local product here in Albuquerque, intercepts. And for Matt Kofler, that's the 5th interception of the year that he's thrown. So the Aztecs were driving well, but now the Lobos take over the football at their own 32-yard line. Robin Gabriel sets his club on 1st down. He goes to tailback Michael Johnson over the right side. Gets a couple of yards to the 34-yard line where the Aztecs stack him up. Alan Dale bottom of the pile again.
Todd Seabaugh forcing the ball back to the inside. I don't think they could run against San Diego State. I really don't. they've been more effective with Roman Gabriel getting a one-on-one coverage and going long against him. I think that's where they've been getting their big yardage.
And I got 1 yard on that play. It'll be 2nd down 9. As Carl Foster comes in, flanker replacing Jerry Apodaca. Foster will set out to the left, and Keith McGee to the right. Gabriel will put it up. Has time, plenty of time. Now pressure, throws, long for Brown, overthrown. Foster at the 21-yard line, double coverage. Vernon Dean down there. As big Carl Foster has good speed and good height, 6'3". A long pass all the way down to the Aztec 30. Also back there was Mike Fox, I believe.
Right, they were in his zone coverage, and both Dean and Fox converging on the ball. Brad Williams put a good rush and gave Gabriel a good shot just before he released the ball.
So the incomplete pass will bring up a 3rd and 9 as Fox apparently has hurt his hip, which was injured a week ago, and he's replaced by Robbie Chapman. Ball Olds, Ball Hondo, remind you, $100 for every San Diego State touchdown will be donated by Dave Bola Ball Olds to the Aztec Athletic Foundation. Ball Olds and Ball Honda will donate $100 to the Aztec Athletic Foundation every time the Aztecs score a touchdown. And our thanks to Dave Ball for his support of Aztec Athletics. Robin Gabriel so far passing 6 for 11. He's having a good night. He's facing a 3rd and 9 now. Long count. He'll put it up one more time. Aztecs blitzing. Dumps it off, though, out of the backfield. The 40, 45 to midfield.
And he was too wide open. Somebody blew a coverage there. Somebody got the wrong defensive assignment, and Kerry Clark was all by himself. Nice gain.
That was the fullback coming out of the backfield, Kerry Clark. First down, Lobos, the Aztec 49. Carl Foster sets out to the right, Keith McGee to the left. On first down, Gabriel rolls right to put it up. Sets up, pressured, hit, and then dumps it off. Tried to underhand it to a fullback, Kerry Clark. Incomplete as the Aztecs put good pressure on Gabriel ultimately.
Gabriel shows a lot of poise. He just stands in there. Of course, he's a big man. He's 6'5", as we said, about 225 pounds. And even there, shows traits of his dad when he used to be in his prime when he was playing with the Los Angeles Rams. Just as he was going down, he tried to flick it out to the fullback there, Kerry Clark.
Coming off is Todd Seabaugh for the Aztecs, limping a little bit. Replaced by Rick Reeder. 2nd down 10. Lobos. They lead 7-3. Gabriel will put it up again. Aztecs blitzing again. Fires long upfield, overthrown. Intended for Apodaca, who was open. He was going one-on-one with Darrell Hall, but the ball was just flat out thrown poorly.
Put a good move on Darrell Hall. He had him turned around. Darrell was going for an outside fake, and Apodaca broke into the middle. Good pass, could have been 7 points.
Absolutely.
Should say 6 points. The kick is not automatic anymore.
So that incomplete pass will bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Lobos. As Apodaca comes out, Carl Foster replaces him at the flanker position.
Brad Williams checking back into the game for number 60, Doug Reed.
Lobos shows slot formation to the right. So Gabriel will roll right, looking upfield. Pressured, hit, and sacked by the above-mentioned Brad Williams, junior out of Jackson, New Jersey.
He has the potential to become probably the finest defensive lineman outside of Fred Dreyer to play with the San Diego State Aztecs.
First sack of the night by the Aztecs on Robin Gabriel, all the way back at the 41-yard line. So the Aztec defense rises up. And in a 7-3 ball game, Lobos on top, they will punt it.
The reason I said outside of Fred Dreyer, I don't want Fred getting mad at me. He's mad at enough people right now, so
That's true.
Keep him happy.
Ferguson, whose last punt was 11 yards, a low snap, and in trouble and hit and knocked down. So the Aztecs take advantage twice of poor punt team execution by the Lobos.
And the ball is down at the 28-yard line.
And the Aztecs are in great field position, trailing 7-3 with 8.5 to play in the second quarter. We'll be back right after this. Hunter, Bob Ferguson and the Aztecs take over the ball at the Lobos' 28-yard line. Aztecs are down 7-3. First down pitch goes Donnie Roberts in for the first time, tries to sweep on the left side, doesn't get much as the Lobos defense closes in on him.
We may see Donnie in a new role today. He may be doing some snapping on extra points and field goals. It's been a problem area for the past couple weeks with the Aztecs, and they're trying some different people out. And the reason is Brian Skaday's broken hand.
That's right. So a 1-yard pickup for Donnie Roberts. Second down 9 coming up. And Roberts comes out of the ball game now, and Kofler, with nobody to replace him, decides he'd better call a timeout because it's a little better to play with 11 than 10 players. Aztecs, though, in Lobo territory with a second down and 9. And Kofler to pass. Has a man open, he can't dump it though as he is pressured and hit. Boy, releasing quickly was tight end Jim Botro, who was all open. Matt saw him, but then had to take the sack. Back at the 33.
He was wide open right off the bat, but Jim Cook, number 15, came in from his left defensive end position, sacked him, didn't have time to see him. Could have been 6 points.
So the loss back to the 33 will give the Aztecs now a 3rd and 14. Roberts is back in along with Fogel. Donnie will set up as a wing to the right. On 3rd and long, Aztecs. Blitz shown, rolling out, dumps it off, Kofler to Roberts, 30, 25, gets a block, 20, all the way down, close to the 10-yard line. Donnie Roberts for more than enough for a first down. Fine execution by the Aztecs.
And Phil Smith throwing a nice block down there, enabling him to pick up another 5 or 6 yards. It's a key to have those wide receivers. They have to do more than run patterns and catch balls. Once the ball is thrown, they have to help either the running back out or another receiver. They have to throw some blocks.
And as a former linebacker, I'm sure you really loved it when you got blindsided by a wide receiver.
Right, they just sneak up. You can't hear them. You know, they don't want anybody to see them around. They tiptoe, right.
1st and 10 Aztecs at the 11 of New Mexico. Helfler rolls left. Looks upfield, pressured, getting out of there. Going to be in trouble, hit and lost all the way back to the 22-yard line. Too many Lobos and not enough Aztecs, as they had one setback. Fogel.
Once again, the Lobos blitzing. Jim Cook coming in from his left end spot, making the tackle. He was trying to go to Donnie Roberts in the corner of the end zone, but he was covered fairly well.
So that's the 3rd time tonight that Kofler has been sacked. And a big yardage loss of 11. So the Aztecs now will be facing a 2nd and 21.
Well, Coach Scoville said all week that he was telling his players, he was telling Matt especially, that you're going to be sacked, be patient, things will open. They'll break open because it's a type of defense that they play. They're going to make the sacks, they're going to get the sacks, but they're also going to make the mistakes.
Kofler to pass now, fires, and it's incomplete. Intended for Darius Durham at the 10. Durham was open, but Matt couldn't get the ball to him. We have flags, though, in the secondary away from where Durham was and away from where the ball was thrown, upfield. And let's see what the call is. Might have been one of the Lobos holding up an Aztec receiver. Defensive, yes. Boy, a break for the Aztecs there.
It's a good break. Matt released that just a little too early. After he threw it, he knew it. He just turned around and stared at the scoreboard here at the other end of the field. So I think Matt is just a little, he's trying to get the ball away quickly, yeah, instead of just staying back there and relaxing.
So the ball moves to the 19-yard line. It's a 5-yard walk-off, and if I'm not mistaken, it's an automatic first down.
The Aztecs get an automatic first down.
Yes, it is, according to the PA announcer. And so, Aztecs with a 1st and 10 at the 19 of the Lobos. Well, today's game is brought to you by the Bull and Bear and Aspen Mine Company restaurants, where food and excellent service is an art. Bull and Bear, located downtown, and there's a new Bull and Bear on El Cajon on 2nd, just off the freeway. And, of course, you know the Aspen Mine Company is a couple of blocks off campus on El Cajon Boulevard. First down, Aztecs. Blitz shown. Kofler, draw. Nice running. 15, still going. At the 10. Matt cuts outside at the 5, goes in. Touchdown, Aztecs.
Fine bit of running by Matt Kofler. He's a strong runner. He's got deceptive speed. It was a real good call. They were expecting a blitz. They blitzed to the outside. The middle was wide open. Matt just took off. There you have a shot of Matt walking back to the sidelines.
So the Aztecs get their first touchdown, and that'll cost Dave Ball $100. Ball Oldsmobile donating $100 for every Aztec touchdown to the Aztec Athletic Foundation. So Matt Kofler just got into Dave Ball's pocket again. As the Aztecs regain the lead, now going in front, 9-7. On comes Dave Meyer to try to add a point for San Diego State out of the hold of Mike Jeslin.
Dave Meyer will attempt a point after touchdown.
Lines are set. And the ball is down. Meyer's kick on its way. It is perfect. So the Aztecs go in front by a score of 10-7. 6:21 to play in the second quarter, and we'll be back right after this. Gabriel will put it up. Fires, slant in, completes it nicely to tight end John Lane, and he's got first down yardage in Aztec territory to the 43.
Just a quick slant to the tight end in his zone coverage, hit the seam. There's not much you could do about that.
Gabriel continues to crank up his arm, throwing the ball well. Boy, he's got a good arm.
He sure does. He's throwing the ball very well.
Last year, he came in late when starting quarterback Brad Wright was hurt and hit 25 of 48 against the Aztecs for 251 yards.
Here are some other
You
scores.
see an Aztec coming off.
Alvin Bush, 45.
Alvin Bush coming off hurt. He's being replaced by Mark Coleman.
14-3.
Today's game brought to you in part by Ball Olds Ball Honda on a mile of cars in National City. Ball Olds.
Rolling over Minnesota, 38-29. Michigan down to Indiana.
First down, Lobos in Aztec territory, the 43-yard line. Out of the I formation. Drop, tailback. Carter, not much. The deep drop to the tailback, out of the I. He gets the ball to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
That was a great play by Brad Williams. He beat George Morris, number 59, the big offensive tackle, 6'5", 252-pound junior. Just threw him aside, stopped in, moved to the inside, and made the play. Fine play by Brad.
Here are some other scores. Clemson, 21.
So 3 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Aztecs lead 10-7.
Northwestern, nothing.
No gain on the play. Lobos with a second down, 10. Gabriel will pass, sets up. He's going long downfield, and it is knocked away at the goal line nicely by Darrell Hall again.
Fine coverage by Darrell.
Intended for Keith McGee.
Keith McGee, the intended receiver, split end. So a little foot race once again. Darrell Hall to Keith McGee.
We'll have a shot at Darrell coming back to the huddle. Made 2 fine plays.
Nebraska over Auburn, 17-3.
That's a tough position to play at corner when you're one-on-one. It's the loneliest place in the world.
I'll bet, especially when you got a guy that's faster than you.
That's right.
Cornerbacks backpedal, and the other guy goes pretty fast straight ahead.
Right, they look for cornerbacks to be able to backpedal as fast as people could run forward, and that's a very difficult thing to find.
Aztecs have 2 good ones in Darrell Hall and Vernon Dean. So now the Lobos have the 3rd and 10. Gabriel, back to pass, rolls right, sets up, fires downfield. It will be intercepted. No, dropped by Darrell Hall at the 5-yard line as Gabriel, under some pressure, intended again for Keith McGee.
They're working on Darrell today.
Yeah.
He's probably saying, what's happening?
Well, I don't know if they're working on Darrell so much as going to their favorite receiver, McGee, who is their best receiver. So the Aztecs halt the Lobos, who try to get the big bundle twice with bombs at 4th down. And on comes the barefooted kicker, Bob Ferguson, who's had a thrilling night already. One 11-yard punt and another one on a bad snap. He never got away.
Ferguson is back to punt for the Lobos.
Ferguson from about his 45-yard line. JC transfer gets a good snap this time, and the kick is away. A high spiral. And a fake fair catch called for by Nobles. Good. Lobos bounce. It'll be down deep in Aztec territory at the 3. So a fine punt that time by Ferguson.
Number 70 for the Lobos.
Aztecs are pinned deep in the hole. So 2.5 left to play in the half. And we'll be back right after this.
With workmanship.
Matt Kofler sets his club. He keeps it himself. Just trying to wedge it out for a yard or two, running behind his offensive line. Notably Matt Long, Rob Gilster, and Darrell Yarborough. And as they unpile, they place the ball at the 5-yard line. Today's game brought to you in part by Mr. A's, where good food and excellent service are considered arts. Mr. A's, 5th Avenue Financial Center, and also with an outstanding view. Clock moving, 2 minutes to play in the half. Ball at the 5-yard line, 2nd down 8, San Diego State. Kofler on 2nd down. Will put it up from the end zone. Fires it out for Phil Smith, overthrow it. They're going to call interference on the cornerback, Nick Johnson, as there was a collision between Johnson and Phil Smith. This time I would question the call.
Well, that was a good play. Matt saw his 1-on-1 coverage. He just threw it to the outside just as Johnson bumped Durham, or Phil Smith, I'm sorry.
Looked to me like really that Smith ran into him. I can feel for the cornerback that time, and the Lobo bench is not happy about it. So the Aztecs get a break there on the interference call, a 1st down at the 18-yard line. 1st and 10, they're out of the hole. They lead 10-7. Kofler rolls right, looks upfield. He's going to run it. Matt gets to the 18-yard line, and that's about all. As too many Lobos were there, and Matt couldn't get any running room. Good job by New Mexico stringing it out. Notably, safety Julius Johnson coming up. Boy, that's a young secondary as they start. A couple of freshmen. One senior and one sophomore.
Right. They're going to be strong back there for the next couple of years.
No gain. Kofler, quick out patterns. Phil Smith, and then he steps out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 24-yard line. So Matt now stops the clock with a minute 25 to go. The Aztecs also pick up 5 yards. Gives them a little time to get a play in from
3rd and 5.
Tight end, Jim Botro.
Without calling a timeout. Good
Aztecs
call.
have used 1 timeout, so they have 2 left. It's a 10-7 ball game. Aztecs on top of the Lobos. San Diego State home this next Saturday night. Iowa State at San Diego Stadium. 7:30 kickoff. Hope to see you there. Get you a chance to see these Aztecs. Kofler will put it up again. Blitz is on. Steps up. Trouble. Running out of there. Flag is down as Matt couldn't find anybody upfield. Kept the ball or went to the 24, which was the line of scrimmage. And it probably will be a holding call against San Diego State.
Right, there were a couple there. Julius Johnson, number 24, coming around the corner from a strong safety spot just before Matt stepped up and ran, was being held pretty well by Jim Botro, but they didn't call that, but they called something on the interior line, so there was...
It is holding. All right, on a very nice night in Albuquerque, the Lobos declined the penalty of illegal use of the hands by the Aztecs, taking instead the advancement of the down, which brings up a 4th down. Aztecs will be forced to kick it away with 1:19 to go. Mike Jeslin comes on to boot the ball for the 2nd time tonight. So Lobos, trailing by 3, will get the ball again here in the first half. Jeslin kicking from his own 10. Low snap, but he's got plenty of time. Gets it away, a high floater, and taken at the 35-yard line, and heading upfield, breaking 1 tackle at the 40, at the 50, and Jeslin misses him, but finally the tackle is made by Darrell Hall at the 38-yard line, but hold everything. There's a penalty flag way back at the New Mexico 37-yard line.
It's a good run back by Johnson, but I have a feeling we're going to have a clip on New Mexico, luckily for the San Diego State Aztecs.
So that fine run back by Julius Johnson, as he eluded a couple of tacklers, looked to be stopped, will be wiped out. There's a 25-yard return.
The Aztecs completing a 41-yard punt on the
1st and 10 Lobos, operating from their own 33-yard line. Gabriel bumps into his fullback, chased, trouble, sacked, won't get it off. Back at the 25-yard line and a happy Aztec defensive line. You see Kevin Ritchie back in there. Kevin's had some shoulder injury problems, played only a couple of downs against Oklahoma State, still bothered by it. As now Gabriel brings his club to the line with a slot formation to the right. Got Apodaca in the slot, McGee wide right. Gabriel will put it up. Sets up, pressured again, rolling out of there in trouble, hit and dropped. Fine individual play by Bill Fairbrother.
number 60, Doug Reed.
And Doug Reed, defensive tackle.
Doug Reed, who transferred from San Diego City College. 3rd down and 27. And they'll go to a running play. Tailback Carter being chased, one armed, then finally brought down at the 20-yard line after a 5-yard gain. Rick Reeder was chasing him, trying to grab him and haul him down by one arm. Then he finally got some help.
All right, Rick slowed him up, and Darrell Hall and Doug Reed came over and finished him off.
That'll do it. The clock will run out, and that's it. So the end of the first half. 2 quarters in the books at San Diego State Aztecs 10, New Mexico Lobos 7. We'll be back right after this.
The score is 10-7. The Aztecs lead New Mexico Lobos. That's the first time the Aztecs have been ahead at halftime this season, 3 games into the campaign, but they are in fact in front. And Doug, some interesting occurrences in that first half. One of which was you got very good kickoff returns from Phil Smith.
We certainly did. Phil hit him right up the middle, and we had good wedge blocking. And in fact, the second kickoff, I think he almost went all the way. Had a real chance to do it.
So that had to please you, getting those special teams with good field position.
Yeah, the special teams came on as the game went on. They got better and better, and we talked about it at halftime, and the intensity on the coverage really improved in the second half, and that helped us immeasurably.
All right, you got on the board the first time you had the ball with a 52-yard field goal by Dave Meyer. He's really got a leg.
I think he's better on the long ones than the short ones, Ron.
Okay, so that gave you a 3-0 lead. They came back and scored on an 80-yard drive to make it 7-3, as we saw. Then the Aztecs came back and scored their touchdown, Matt Kofler, on a draw. Let's take a look here at the first half statistics. As we see now, the Aztecs only 16 yards rushing and New Mexico 9. So neither one of you are really bruising the opponent.
No, we're sure not.
And then passing yardage 105 to 161. You had the 1 interception, 1 fumble, and New Mexico had no turnovers yet. But your defense, it looked like, was a little shaky in the first series, a la week before, but it started to come on.
Exactly right. They played well in the big plays in the second half. Of course, the 2-point plays, which saved the game for us again.
Okay, well, let's take a look at a couple of big plays in that second quarter, one of which is New Mexico's driving, and they're in punt formation. And the Aztecs, did you have a block on?
Yes, we did. We went for a block quite a few times. Others where we had an option where we would block if it was there, if not, come off. So most of the time we had a block on, and we caught them when they had a bad snap.
All right, and Darrell Hall just leveled that kicker.
Very definitely. We knew their center wasn't good, and we felt the percentage was with us if we kept going for the block, and eventually it paid off.
All right, then another key play, of course, in the second quarter was the Aztec touchdown, and that drive culminating with a quarterback draw by Matt Kofler.
Yes, Matt did a good job on that because they had a blitz on. He had to step back and read the direction of the two blitzing linebackers, and he went the opposite side and shook one guy and then got a block from Phil Smith and went in. So big play again for us.
That's got to make you happy as head coach when you see those outside receivers helping out with blocks.
Right, Phil Smith particularly, he's our best blocker. He and Clint Sampson do a good job blocking.
All right, so it is halftime, 10-7. The Aztecs lead New Mexico. We'll be back right after this. 10-7 is the score. The Aztecs leading New Mexico. Now, Doug, going into the third quarter, do you feel you can run or throw against them? Because you know, and you've seen their blitzes and stunts.
Well, we knew they were going to blitz more, and we felt we had to run more, and that was our plan. And we did that pretty well the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, we didn't run or pass very well.
All right. Are you concerned also going into the second half about their pressure on Matt Kofler?
Oh, definitely, yes, definitely. And we felt we could do it, but we had some breakdowns, and that was it. Just some breakdowns.
Now, Bernie Miller, your defensive coordinator, who seems to always pull rabbits out of a hat, his defense got pushed around a little bit in the first half, and in the second half, they know that Robin Gabriel is going to be throwing the ball, so I guess they're feeling some pressure also.
Very definitely. We said at halftime we had to improve in all three areas: offense, defense, and special teams. And the big improvement was in the special teams and the defense. We made some good adjustments. We got some pressure on them, and this turned out we won the defensive battle.
Well, you should have gone over to the officials and said, you guys have got to improve in the second half, too. I think they got a sore arm throwing so many penalty flags. There were a bunch. All right, it is 10-7. The Aztecs lead to New Mexico Lobos, and we'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this.
City Stadium, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ron Reno along with Bob Babich will get ready to open up play in a 10-7 ball game. Aztecs on top of New Mexico. Third quarter action. Aztecs on front at halftime for the first time this year.
That's right.
I don't know if that's a good or bad omen, but it's a fact. First half, Matt Kofler was 8 of 13 for 105 yards. Robin Gabriel, 10 of 21 for 161 yards. Neither team bruised the other one rushing the ball as Meyer ready to kick off for San Diego State. Back deep for the Lobos, Apodaca and Mitchell. Meyer's high end over end kick. Waiting for it is Apodaca at the 1. Has blockers in front of him at the 5. 10 through the wedge, gets away, 15. Still running to the 19 and hauled down ultimately at about the 20-yard line.
Number 44, Rick Boyer, just went flying through that wedge. He just busted. He went through three guys and stopped Apodaca, made him change his course.
Now you know why they call it the Suicide Squad.
It'd be a little crazy to play on those teams.
First and 10, New Mexico Lobos on their own 20-yard line. 10-7, Aztecs lead it. Robin Gabriel sets his club on first down. He'll put it up right away. Drops it off into the flat. That might be a lateral, rolling around at the 10-yard line and falling on it at the 8. Yes, it is a lateral. The Aztecs weren't aware of it and should have gone back and picked it up, but the Lobos tailback Mike Carter wisely fell on it. So that's not a pass, that's a lateral, and hence a big loss yardage all the way back to the 8-yard line.
It's a good way to start the second half.
12-yard setback, so it'll be second and 22 in New Mexico.
We have a shot at the Aztec bench.
On second down, Robin Gabriel sets his club. Rolls back into the end zone, a pass, sets up, fires, upfield, and his would-be receiver slipped and fell at 25-yard line. Carl Foster, that's too bad for Carl, as he was covered by
intended for number 81 is incomplete.
San Diego State's Alvin Bush, and also Darrell Hall.
Right out there.
Third and 17. For the
So
Lobos.
the rain of the last 2 days, by and large, there's been very little slippage by players of either team. That was the first time. And the incomplete pass will bring up a third and 22 for New Mexico. Time Apodaca comes out to the right, Keith McGee to the left. Gabriel might be calling an audible at line of scrimmage. He goes back into the end zone to pass. Dumps it off to fullback Kerry Clark. Kerry takes it across the 10 up to the 15-yard line. Getting about 8 yards, way short of needed first down yardage. Aztecs have stopped the Lobos, and there's an Aztec down hurt.
One of the players in on the tackle, Bill Fairbrother, was one of the ball players, and the other young fella down on the field was the other one. I tell you, that Fairbrother's a hard hitter. He might have gotten more of our ball player than he did of the Lobo running back.
On your left, with his back to the camera, Dr. George Brown. To the right is trainer Bob Moore. As the Lobos will be facing a 4th down. And San Diego State will get the ball after the punt with pretty good field position. The pass is back in the Aztec attack, and season tickets still on sale as low as $25. So stop down at Gate F, San Diego Stadium tomorrow, or call 283-7096, 283-7096. Injured Aztec is Alvin Bush, safety, 6'1", 185, junior from East St. Louis, Illinois. Alvin Bush played quite a few years shortstop in the St. Louis Cardinal organization, got the AAA, and I guess he didn't want to fight Gary Templeton and said nuts to it. Played junior college football at Santa Monica City College and transferred to San Diego State this year. So Ferguson will punt from the goal line. It's a good snap, and the kick is away. Spiral. And Gary Nobles at the 48-yard line, running laterally. No help, though. And he is hauled down to the 45.
Got a return up to the top of the screen or the right side of the field, but they just didn't have enough Aztecs over there to set it up.
So Aztecs take over the ball, and we're just a minute into the 3rd quarter. 10-7, San Diego State. We'll be back right after this.
The pass is back in the Aztec attack. The Aztecs have repowered their attack by bringing in one of America's most brilliant offensive coaches, Doug Scoville. Scoville coached such great passers as Roger Staubach, John Brody, and now he brings that same passing magic to San Diego. The pass is back in the Aztec attack. Season tickets are available Monday through Friday at the Stadium Gate F, or call 283-7096. The pass is back in the Aztec attack.
Apodaca to the right, McGee to the left. On 3rd down, Gabriel back to pass, sets up, fires, complete to Apodaca, the flanker, at the 37-yard line. 1st down, Lobos. Very smart play.
Was play action pass into the middle to hold the linebackers and then just run the quick slant into the zone. Linebackers have to respect the run first, and fake held them just that one step. That creates a crease in the zone.
So the Lobos get off the hook, get a 1st down, keep the drive alive. They trail 10-7. And a ball now at the 39-yard line of New Mexico. McGee again to the left, Apodaca to the right. Robin Gabriel. Deep drop, tailback, Carter, good running room. 45 up to the 50. Mike Carter scampers for 11 yards. He's happy, fired up.
Sure is. That was just a lead play with the isolation on a linebacker. Number 25, Kerry Clark, the fullback, put a good block on one of the Aztec linebackers, and Carter was able to scamper through for a good gain.
So another 1st down for New Mexico. They're at midfield. Jeff Morgan in a nose tackle now for the Aztecs, replacing Steve Allman. On 1st down, Gabriel, same play. This time, though, Carter breaks it outside instead of inside, and he's hauled it at the line of scrimmage for no gain. There's Thomas Carter there.
It's a good play by Tommy Carter.
And you see 71, Kevin Ritchie, checking into the Aztec defensive line. He replaces Mike Vance.
Well, Kevin's an excellent pass rusher, and being 2nd and 10, they figure the Lobos may be throwing, and they're going to give Kevin an opportunity to get to Mr. Gabriel, introduce himself.
All right, he's been sacked a couple of times tonight by the Aztecs. He's looking at his 2nd down 10 now. Robin will, in fact, put it up. Pressured by Brad Williams, throws, incomplete. Intended for Kevin McGee. Vernon Dean covering, and the crowd thought it should have been interference. As Vernon went up with him and hit him.
Excellent play by Vernon, timed it just perfectly. Great pass rush by Brad Williams, number 72, coming from his left defensive tackle spot. Brad's been in the backfield quite a bit today. He's having a pretty fine game on that line of scrimmage. He's playing against number 59, George Morris, who's a junior. He's one of their better offensive linemen. He's a big kid, 6'5", 252 pounds, whereas Brad's only 6'2", 235, but he's using his quickness and his strength. He's very strong for 235.
Well, now it's 3rd down 10, Lobos. 9.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Gabriel will put it up again. Has time. Fires long. McGee. And it is intercepted by the Aztecs. Good play by center fielder
Robbie
Chapman, a transfer from Stanford, intercepting Robin Gabriel. First time tonight. Just an excellent play by Chapman.
Robbie played 2 years at Stanford, and he was on a preseason All-American poll. I think his second year there.
That's his first interception of the year. 9:25 to go. Aztecs lead. They have the ball. We'll be back right after this. The attack from the 2-yard line. Give right up the middle. Full goal. Gets a yard or two.
Carried by 25.
Trying to wedge it out of there to the 3, maybe the 4-yard line. Middle of the defensive line for
by Johnny Jackson.
the Lobos, making the stop. Notably Johnny Jackson. So they placed the ball just past the 3-yard line. We'll call it a 1-yard gain, and the Aztecs now have a 2nd down and 9 coming up. 10-7 is our score. Aztecs on top of New Mexico. Today's game being brought to you in part by Ball Oldsmobile and Ball Honda, the National City mile of cars. Slot formation right, Aztecs. Lobos showing blitz. And Kofler to pass from the end zone, in trouble, running out of there, pressured, and he throws the ball. And it's knocked down, and everybody keeps scrambling for it. The official calling it a safety, though, because Matt stepped out of the back of the end zone.
He stepped on the back line. The Aztecs could have been in trouble because when he threw it away, it looked like one of the offensive linemen put their hand on it, and they're not allowed to touch the ball. It's been an illegal receiver touching the ball, so they had a penalty one way or the other. If the safety does hurt, it closes the gap to 10-9. Plus, the Aztecs have to kick the ball.
So a safety recorded by the Lobos on their pressuring of Matt Kofler, forcing him to step out of the back of the end zone.
Again, the pressure by the Lobo defense. They're playing, they blitz everybody. It looks like a giant Chinese fire drill out there, and you never know where ball players are coming from, whether the linebackers coming from the inside, the safeties from the outside, or everybody coming from the inside, and looks like they put 10-man pressure there. Seemed like there were 10 red jerseys back there in that end zone.
I'm sure Matt thought so. So now the Aztecs will have a free kick. Jeslin will punt it away, and the Lobos will get the ball right back. Kofler's yet to complete a pass here in the second half. So a big opportunity for New Mexico after an interception by Robbie Chapman at the 2-yard line. And the Lobo defense scores 2 points. Now will give the ball to the offense with good field position. 10-9 the score. Aztecs on top by only 1 point.
Attention please, the view of the driver of the blue and white Oldsmobile parked in the south side area.
Here's Jeslin with the free kick.
667 is the New Mexico license plate.
Waiting for it are Apodaca and Mitchell at about the 25-yard line.
395. These automobiles need to be moved immediately so that school buses can get out.
Mike Jeslin kicks the ball. Nice high spiral. Backing up is Apodaca. All the way back to the 15-yard line. To the 20, by 30. And hit down at the 32-yard line. So fine punt by Mike Jeslin, allowing the coverage to get down there. And New Mexico gets the ball at the 31-yard line.
Jack Eaton and Dave Proto in on the tackle there. Good coverage by the Aztec special teams.
55-yard kick.
Great punt. Great punt.
All right, Lobos ball. They trail by only 1, 10-9. They have it at their own 31-yard line. Slot formation right for New Mexico. Now the I formation. Robin Gabriel directing the attack. He's back to pass. Fires, going long. McGee, and overthrown. Good coverage, one-on-one with Darrell Hall.
I think Darrell's going to have a complex today. He's probably standing out there going, why me? What'd I do?
He's also going to be tired.
But he's doing a fine job. Great job of covering McGee and both Apodaca when they're out on that side.
Well, Gabriel's not shy. Boy, he'll put it up in the air and long. They go for the bombs. That incomplete pass will bring up a 2nd and 10. Robin was 10 for 21 in the first half. On 2nd down. Tailback Carter finds a hole at left tackle and scoots to the 34, 35-yard line. He's hit down by Fairbrother. San Diego State, along with quarterback Vern Dean.
Vernon Dean for the Aztecs.
That's a 4-yard gain. 3rd and 6 coming up. Lobos. They alternate their flankers, Apodaca and Foster, bringing the plays in. 7:53 to play, 3rd quarter. Aztecs lead 10-9. Robin Gabriel. And Lobos took too long. Delay of game, 5-yard penalty against them.
Delay of game is the penalty indicated against the Lobos.
That'll be a 5-yard walk-off back to the 30-yard line. So now, New Mexico will have a 3rd and 11. Aztecs home next Saturday night. San Diego Stadium, 7:30 kickoff. The opponent, Iowa State Cyclones. Need I say more? On 3rd down, Gabriel obviously will put it up. Pressured, hit, gets away, now throws it, and it is intercepted by San Diego State. Allendale. Interesting play.
Todd Seabaugh, I believe. Allendale was the one that tipped it, and Todd Seabaugh came over and intercepted it. Had good pressure on him. The Aztecs were in a blitz. Like number 60, Doug Reed, was very close, harassing Gabriel. It's a nice break for the Aztecs. Good field position.
Is that why you run tip drills during the week?
That's it. Everybody complains about it during the week, and says, what do we have to do foolish stuff like this? But in a ball game, and when it counts, those drills really do come in handy.
So Aztecs, 2nd interception of Robin Gabriel on successive drives. They get the ball in Lobo territory to 32. Kofler rolls right on 1st down, pressured, still running. Now he unloads the ball and overthrows Darius Durham down at the 20-yard line as Matt running for his life.
A lot of pressure as the Lobos once again were in a blitz.
Incomplete.
Matt basically was just throwing that away instead of taking the loss.
He has yet to complete a pass here in the 2nd half. This will bring up a 2nd and 10. Coming into this ball game as a team, the Aztecs are averaging 26.5 points per game, giving up to their opponents only 15. New Mexico, on the other hand, is averaging 25 points a game, giving up 27 to their opponents. But we got a low-scoring game now. 10-9 is the count. San Diego State clinging to a 1-point advantage, looking at a 2nd and 10. Kofler will pass again. Steps up, pressured, and he's hit and sacked.
And he fumbled the ball. It's like Matt Long, the center, number 56, dropped it. Fell on the ball. Once again, number 15, Jim Cook, the left defensive end, coming in, making the play. Forcing the fumble.
Back at the 38-yard line. So a loss of 5. Aztecs now with a 3rd and 15 as Kerry Bull Williams checks into the backfield. First appearance of the night. He and Craig Ellis are the running backs. 3rd and long, Aztecs. Matt will put it up again. Steps up, pressured, looking, can't. Now he's still running out of there in trouble and hit down at the 38-yard line, which is the line of scrimmage. So again, the pressure of New Mexico's blitzes.
They've been putting a lot of pressure on him so far this 2nd half. They may have the offensive line a little confused in their blocking assignments, and they're just going through like a sieve. And that can get very frustrating for a quarterback when he steps back there and you have a defensive end or a linebacker back there quicker than you are. He's just sitting there waiting for you. Become very frustrating.
So after the interception by San Diego State, unable to take advantage of it. So they'll bring on Dave Meyer to try a field goal for the 2nd time tonight. And this will be a long one. He's kicking from the 44, so it's a 54-yard attempt. Kicked one earlier, 52 yards. So this one, 54 yards. Out of the hold of Jeslin. Kick is on its way, and it's short. A little bit out of his range.
Looked like it was good for 52, but it wasn't good for 54. It looked like it was about 2 yards short.
So Aztecs on the field goal try, unable to convert. Still 10-9, San Diego State on top, 5:50 to go, 3rd period. We'll be back after this.
Rejoin the action with the New Mexico 1st and 10.
It's their own 42-yard line. Osborne, tailback, Carter trying to sweep to the outside, in trouble, too many Aztecs there, gets away, then fumbles, Aztecs recover. Looked like Carter was stopped. He slipped away and dropped the football.
Thomas Carter made a nice play, just stayed at home. Defeated his blocker, made the stop on Carter. Carter using some extra effort. Ball just slipped right out of his hand. Carter recovered the fumble. Fine individual play by Tom Carter.
A break for the Aztecs. Another turnover. That's the third in this ball game. New Mexico's only had 4 all season in 4 games coming into tonight. So San Diego State ball at the 34-yard line. See if they can take advantage of it. First down. Matt back to pass. Out pattern. Durham, nice catch by Darius, and he's hauled out of bounds in front of the Lobo bench inside the 25, about the 24-yard line.
Thought maybe we see a flag there. Looked like one of the Lobos jumped before the ball was snapped, but apparently he got back into it.
And there was an official right there. As they say, he stepped out of bounds at the 25-yard line, just shy of the 25. So it's also a little short of first down yardage. Second and a long one for San Diego State. 31 seconds to play, third quarter. Kofler up the middle. Kerry Williams and the bull bangs down in there across the 20 to the 16 and easily has a first down. 7-yard gain for Kerry Williams, his first carry of the night. Senior out of Long Beach.
Tackled by Johnny Jackson.
So San Diego State on the move now at the Lobo, 17-yard line.
At the 17.
Smith out to the right, Durham, or rather Smith to the left, Durham to the right. First down, Kofler to pass. Quick out pattern again, Durham has it in, and Darius goes down to one knee, taking it in, right in front of the cornerback, Nick Johnson.
Darius Durham.
Aztecs now working on the corners as they're playing soft.
And Matt's not taking that deep drop. He's taking a quick 3-step drop and throwing the ball right. They're just going for the quick outs. They're 5-6 yards. That was 7 yards.
Good yardage, first down. And
Just going to work on the short stuff right now.
That ends the third quarter. It's 10-9. Aztecs on top of New Mexico. Back with the fourth quarter right after this. Football left with Bob Babbage. This is Ron Rena in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Williams, the lone setback. Aztecs shift. Kofler. Bull Williams again. Hold up the middle at the 5. Touchdown, Aztecs.
And number 34, that's Bull Williams.
Nice run by Bull Williams.
Touchdown.
Just a straight dive play. He cuts it back to the right where he saw the opening. Once again, the Lobos in a blitz. Left a little lane there, and he just broke it right where the hole was, in for an easy touchdown of 9 yards.
So Kerry Bull Williams goes in for 6. Aztecs advance their lead to 16-9. And on comes Dave Meyer to try the extra point. For Williams, his first touchdown of the year. Jeslin will hold. Meyer to try the extra point. And the kick is good. So just like that, one play into the fourth quarter, the Aztecs score a touchdown. 14:56 to play in this football game, and it's San Diego State 17, New Mexico 9. We'll be back. Right.
New Mexico in possession.
All right, so here's the scenario. Lobos ball, 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line.
42-yard punt.
So 2.5 minutes to play in the football game, and the Lobos trail 17-9.
I think we've been in this spot before, Ron.
Oh boy, can the Aztec defense do it again? Second week in a row. Robin Gabriel remains the quarterback, and he's back to pass on first down. A blitz. Fires over the middle, out of the backfield. Mike Carter, 50, 40. Aztec territory hauled down from behind at the 29-yard line. Good call by the Lobos.
Sure was. Aztecs were in a blitz. They just hit the back coming across the middle. One of the defenders slipped and fell, and Robbie Chapman came from his weak safety spot to make the tackle. Big gainer for the Lobos.
So now New Mexico deep in Aztec territory at the 28-yard line. Clock moving, 2:10 to play. 1st and 10 Lobos. McGee to the right. Apodaca to the left. Out of split backs this time. And Gabriel to pass. Has time, sets up, fires. Completes it to tight end Mark Biren, but hauled down immediately.
83, Mark Biren.
I believe they're calling it incomplete.
He might have bobbled the ball and then dropped it when he was hit, as Alan Dale went over there and leveled him from behind.
Allen's having a fine ball game today. He's made it on a lot of tackles. 59, Rick Reeder coming in, replacing Todd Seabaugh.
Pass is ruled incomplete.
So it is, in fact, as Bob Babbage said, an incomplete pass. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Lobos. So that stops the clock. Minute 57 to play. 17-9 to score. Aztecs lead. Gabriel back to pass. Aztecs have a blitz on. He fires, though, and it is incomplete. 20-yard line. Good defensive play. Vernon Dean on Keith McGee. McGee doesn't like it. Thinks it should have been interference.
Great play, great coverage by Dean. McGee made the turn. Dean closed real quickly, put his hand right in front of the ball without touching the receiver or pushing him, so they wouldn't get called for the interference. There you have a picture of Keith McGee from Morris High in San Diego.
Incomplete pass brings up a 3rd and 10 for the Lobos. Again, McGee to the left, Apodaca to the right. This time they line up in the I formation. Gabriel back to pass, sets up, pressured, and now fires. Just threw it away because he was under so much pressure.
By Brad Williams. Brad was in the backfield very quickly. Made Gabriel throw it away.
So now it is 4th down for the Lobos. To the right of your screen, that is not a penalty flag. It's a piece of paper. It flew on the field.
Thank goodness. Become jumpy after a while.
Which is hard to believe, yes, the way this game has gone. So here's a play brought in from the bench by flanker Carl Foster. 4th and 10. The Lobos obviously will go for it with a minute 49 to play. From the 28 of San Diego State. Robin Gabriel rolls right to pass. Pressured. Now fires downfield to the end zone. Caught McGee. Touchdown. Excellent pass.
It was. It's right on the money. It was a slant pattern in the middle. There were 2 defenders right around him, but the ball was thrown perfectly. Laid right in there.
So Robin Gabriel to Keith McGee. Touchdown, Lobos. Now it's a 17-15 ball game. More than likely, they will go for 2, and they call a timeout to discuss it. So a lot of pressure on the Aztec defense right here. Here looms a large play in this football game. Apodaca, lone wide receiver. McGee lines up as a wing, double tights. Out of the I formation. On the conversion try. Back to pass. Gabriel. Pressured. In trouble. Steps up. Throws. Knocked away by the Aztecs. Bat the ball away. Back of the end zone.
Darryl Hall, number 49.
But
a flag. It's like interference against the Aztecs.
Away from where the ball was thrown. The opposite end of the end zone. So that really hurts the Aztecs. As they had good coverage on the intended receiver, McGee deep in the end zone.
Well, that would put the ball on the 1-yard line, wouldn't it, Ron?
Yes, interference puts on the 1-yard line. Here's Darryl Hall running up and yelling at the referee. Didn't like the call. But it'll go. So there's a break, boy, for New Mexico as the Aztecs came up with a big defensive play. Now the Lobos get another try at a 2-pointer. Score 17-15, Aztecs. Minute 42 to go in the football game.
And here comes Osborne in. They may be going with the option with on the 1-yard line.
For a 1-yard run.
Sure.
Bill Fairbrother notes that, yells it out to the defense. All right, they have 2 wide receivers this time. I formation, Osborne, the quarterback on the 2-point try. Osborne on the option, keeps it himself, slips and falls, he's down. And so the conversion try is no good. Aztecs with a break. Oh boy. Big pressure play as the defense closed and Osborne tried to cut back and slipped in the wet grass. So you can just feel the sag go out of the crowd here, who was very up. And the score remains 17-15 Aztecs with a minute 42 to go. We'll be back right after this.
Both things getting hit harder than prices on 1980.
Boy, what a ball game. Aztecs will be happy to get out of here with a 2-point win. Go home undefeated for Iowa State next week.
I'd like to see a close game for a change. We've had too many breathers.
There's been, yeah, all those blowouts.
Yeah.
So now the Lobos, Pete Parks, will kick off. Aztecs with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men up at the restraining line in case there is a onside kick try. 1:42 to play in the game. Aztecs lead by 2 points only. Parks approaches the ball. It is an onside kick try. Grabbed by the Aztecs. Tight end Jim Botro grabs it and just goes down to the ground with it to the 40. So Aztecs come up with another big play as Parks kicked it a little too hard.
Behind the ball for the Aztecs, Jim Botro.
So now, this game is still not over. 1:39 to play.
It's a long time.
Whee! Indeed it is. Rick Hansen comes on to try to run that clock out and not turn the ball over to New Mexico.
They still have 2 timeouts left, as does San Diego State, but I don't believe the Aztecs will be worrying about their timeouts.
Ellis and Fogel are the setbacks. At the 40-yard line, Hansen rolls right. And he's going to keep it himself and just tries to run behind a block, stay in bounds, goes to the 41-yard line and run that clock out. And goes to 1:29, and Lobos call a timeout.
He's trying to run it wide so that they use up a few extra seconds. And with the blazing speed Rick has,
Yes,
maybe
that'll
instead
help.
of 3 seconds, it'll be 5 seconds. So it's
Indeed.
great.
So Lobos call a timeout to stop the clock with 1:29 to play in the football game. Remember, Aztec fans, if you want to keep track of Aztec action, visit San Diego Federal's Del Cerro or 54th and El Cajon branches. There you can pick up your 1981 Aztec sports calendar, and it's free from San Diego Federal. Well, 41-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Junior Rick Hansen has the pressure on his shoulders. He's conferring now with Doug Scoville and trots back onto the field. 1:29 to play in this football game. Been a play of big games, a game of big plays.
Sure has.
And big penalties, even larger.
A lot of the big plays were called back.
Wiped out by penalties. So now at the 41-yard line, San Diego State with a 2nd and 9. Again, Ellis and Fogel are the setbacks. They shift with Ellis going out to a wing. And Hansen will roll left. Fogel in front of him. Rick just trying to run some yardage, and does as he goes wide and gets to the 39-yard line where it'll be a loss of 2. That took 9 seconds. Lobos call a timeout.
And that's their final timeout, I believe.
So 1:20 left to play in the football game. So the Aztecs will be looking at a 3rd and 12. New Mexico, 1 and 3 on the air. Our executive producer, Jack Malstad. Our director, Michael J. McLeese. Tonight's telecast, our associate producer, H.W. Bassett III, of course. And our crew from Albuquerque, New Mexico, where 1:20 showing on the clock. Rick Hansen again conferred with Doug Scoville, now returns to the huddle.
Still a lot of time, though, Ron.
Well, 1:20 is a lot of time.
A lot could happen in 1:20.
Especially the way Gabriel throws the ball. Aztecs obviously want to protect that football. They have actually a 5-game winning streak.
That's right.
Last 3 games of last year, first 2 of this year, trying to advance it to 6. Hansen rolls out to the right, looks upfield, but he's going to run the football, puts his head down, and just takes a hit at the 38-yard line. And so the clock now shows 1:12, 1:11. It's still running. The Lobos can't stop it because they've used up all their timeouts. The play lost a yard. 4th down coming up San Diego State. Jeslin and company will take their time.
And they
1
may even
minute.
take a delay of the game penalty.
Exactly, because now we're inside of a minute. 57 seconds to play in a game. There's the clock, all important right now. 50 seconds. Aztecs started to break the huddle and then wisely said, let's run that clock down some more. 43 seconds.
We'll see a 10-man rush by the Lobos. They're trying to block it.
There's Mike Jeslin, senior punter from the Redondo Beach area, the 25-yard line. They will not snap it, I'm sure. 30 seconds ago, and 29 seconds when the delay of game call. Okay. So that'll be a 5-yard walk-off against San Diego State from the 38 to the 33-yard line.
Delay of game penalty is assessed against the Aztecs.
Boy, they're squeezing every bit of drama out of this, aren't
They
they?
sure are.
So now it is 4th down for the Aztecs with 29 seconds to play. Jeslin in punt formation. Waiting at the 30 is Nick Johnson for the Lobos. Good snap. Here they come, but Mike's kick is away. A high spiral.
And
Johnson
roughing-
backs up.
Roughing the punter.
And he fumbles the ball back at the 8, and then he has to fall on it at the 6-yard line.
But State will keep the ball because there's roughing the punter.
Oh my, that should be a big break for San Diego State. Now the clock has stopped with 20 seconds ago, and there you see the officials. And there you see Mr. Fairbrother.
Happy young lad. That's all the Aztecs are.
Well, it isn't easy starting the season off with 3 games on the road.
No, it isn't. It's very difficult, and especially the teams that they played. They opened up with Colorado State, who unfortunately fizzled, but they were supposed to be one of the contenders for the WAC conference. And the Big 8 team at Oklahoma State, they're not a bunch of sissies. They play pretty good football down there. Big 8. Now, New Mexico.
Aztec coach was worried all this week about a letdown, a mental letdown after the big win over Oklahoma State.
I think they were.
Tried to guard against that.
Yeah, they've had a couple bad practices during the course of the week. One day the defense was just horrendous. The next day the offense couldn't even catch a ball. They fumbled everything, and you know, the coaches were worried coming into this ball game.
So it's 1st and 10 Aztecs after the roughing the kicker penalty. Hansen goes to one knee, excuse me, and the clock ticks off.
That should
16
do it, Ron.
seconds, 15 seconds, and that might be this ball game. Aztecs leading 17-15.
Another fine performance by the defense. Bernie Miller has those young men working very well.
So the Aztecs yield but 15 points, which is their seasonal average. And an unhappy Lobos team, as there's the clock. And San Diego State beats the University of New Mexico Lobos. Final score was 17-15, as the Aztecs record is now 3-0. They're 2-0 in the WAC, and New Mexico falls to 1-4. They are 1-1 in WAC games. So Aztecs win it. And speaking for Bob Babbage, this is Ron Rena reminding you the final score of tonight's game from Albuquerque: Aztecs 17, New Mexico 15.
Think it.
All right, the Aztecs win it and nail biter 17-15. Quickly, Doug, along the way, Matt Kofler got thrown out of the game. That's rare. Did the officials explain it all to you?
Couldn't get him over to explain it to me. I tried hard, but I couldn't. Matt said that it happened right in front of us, and 2 of their players were working Matt over, and he retaliated just by pushing his way free, trying to get up, and then a flag was thrown, and I don't know, maybe Matt said something, and then we had another 15 yards tacked on. It was an unfortunate incident that happened.
It was unique also, because those flags were flying everywhere. All right, but the Aztecs do win it. Along the way, the Aztecs took advantage of a New Mexico turnover, capped the drive. Bull Williams banging in from 9 yards for a touchdown. This is an interesting play, Doug, because you kind of cave in New Mexico line on the touchdown run.
We did. This was a belly play, and Bull runs this very well. He starts off to the left side. The offensive left side of the line got off good, and then he bent it back and got a key block from Jerry Stabline, and then he just waltzed in.
All right, that touchdown gave the Aztecs a little breathing room, but then New Mexico came back, and subsequently in the ball game, you had a big play as the Lobos get the ball at their own 5, but Gabriel's in the end zone throwing way upfield, and Darrell Hall picks it off for the nice interception.
Yeah, he did. He had good position. He was in his zone coverage, and he laid off, and the ball was a little overthrown, and Darrell caught it right on the run and went all the way down to the 3, and then you'd think we'd certainly get something out of that, and again, unfortunate things happened.
The flag started flying again.
Yes.
But I had to please you that once he intercepted, you see all those defensive guys turn offensive and block for him.
They did a good job, and he did a good job cutting back. He hit a soft part of the field and kind of started losing his balance and went down on the 3.
All right, so the Aztecs do win it, though, but boy, it was close because New Mexico ultimately scored, makes it 17-15, and then they're going to go for a 2-point play. And here's quarterback Robin Gabriel passing into the end zone.
And we had excellent coverage on this, and again, a flag flies. And I can't see it, so it's hard to
It was away from the ball, yeah.
Right.
Hard to understand.
Definitely.
So the officials called interference against the Aztecs. So at the 1-yard line, New Mexico gets another try at a 2-point conversion. They change quarterbacks. Osborne comes in, an option quarterback, and you know now what he's going to do.
We knew exactly what he was there for, and had the defense called to stop the option, and had he not slipped, I'm sure we would have stopped him short of the goal line.
Well, all those linebackers were there. Thomas Carter, Seabaugh, Fairbrother. So
yes.
Aztecs had him wrapped up and pull out the victory. Here's the final stats on the ball game. Aztecs only 122 yards passing, and I would think that you would really realistically you'd like to get at least 300 yards passing per game.
Well, at least 225 to 250, depending on who you're playing and what your game plan is. Ron, it was a very poor offensive output this game, and certainly we've got to improve with Iowa State ahead of us.
I was going to say, you got some work to do now. Iowa State Cyclones, 3 wins, no losses, 1 tie.
They're an awfully good football team. I've seen them on film this last week just before we left, and they're big and they're fast, and they're an awfully good football team all the way around.
They must be with a record like that, and they this weekend tied Oklahoma 7-7. But it's at San Diego Stadium. I know it's hard for you to believe. Don't go to the airport. Go to the stadium. 7:30 kickoff. Aztecs home opener. Hope to see you out there. Should be a good one. Iowa State Cyclones and the 3-0 San Diego State Aztecs. And that is our Doug Scoville Show for today.